Hi, I'm E.D. Lewis, and welcome back to my channel for another nocturnal review, since it is nighttime. Although you may see this during the day, whenever you see this. Before we get started, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that like button, and please leave a comment, even if it's just saying hello. I like to read the comments. I don't get enough comments. Just please comment. 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 Anyway, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. All the links for that is down below. You can read some of my writing at Wattpad. You can visit my author page on Amazon. If you're interested in any of my published works, they are on Amazon, and including my novel. And the link for that is all down below, as well as, there's one more thing. Oh, yes. Please visit and like the official Facebook page of my book, The Curse of Ridge House, on Facebook. So, And one more little thing before we get started. In about 9 days or so, October 1st, the Kindle edition of Local Haunts will be released. It's available for pre-order right now. It is a HorrorTube anthology, so it is short stories written by, all kinds of HorrorTubers, including myself. There's a story by me in there, too. So, it's a great bunch of people and great writers, so please check them out. Please read all the stories in there, and, buy the book. Please do, because, it was awesome to be a part of. I'm glad that it was brought to my attention, and it's filled with people with so many talent, so many talented people. I can't even talk, but please do check that out, and please pre-order your copy today or tomorrow. Whenever you see this, And the launch video, which is Regina's Haunted Library, she's the one who put it together, and she's a fantastic writer herself. The link for the pre-order is down below, and the link for her launch video of it is down below as well, so please check that out. Okay, so for this review, I'm doing another book and movie review. I should have repaired my book. I was a little harsh on it. But anyway, we're doing Crimson Peak, both the book and the movie. And let me tell you, this is not an ordinary book. This is not the type of book that I usually... Well, it is the type of book, but what I mean by that is that I do read. Is that it's a novelization of a movie. I don't read many of those. I've read some, like in high school and such. I did a little bit. And this one was written by Nancy Holder, and I think I've only read one novelization by her, and that was Buffy the Vampire Slayer: The Harvest, which was the first 2 episodes of the television series. It was the novelization of those. So I think that's the only time I've read anything of hers. She's a good writer, and I will, of course, talk about a little bit of the differences between the book and the movie, or novelization of the movie. But anyway, this is a gothic romance, gothic horror story, and it's a fantastic movie. What drew me to this movie originally was I saw trailers for it, and I was like, it reminded me of Jane Eyre. I love Jane Eyre, and so I was like, ooh, it's like a horror Jane Eyre. So I was like, I had to see it, and I saw it, and I fell in love with it. And most recently, I've actually decided that it is my second favorite movie. My first favorite movie is Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is not gothic at all, but it's kind of a interesting little jump there from Perks of Being a Wallflower to Crimson Peak. But anyway, the movie came out in 2015, so 5 years ago. It is directed by Guillermo del Toro, the director of Pan's Labyrinth and I believe Shape of Water, which won an award. I have not seen that movie, which is terrible. I should have seen that movie. I need to go out and see that movie. I need to go find that movie and see it, because I guess it was really good, and he's a fantastic director. He also co-wrote this with just be easier if I pull up on the book. Matthew Robbins. So it was co-written with Matthew Robbins, and of course the novelization is Nancy Holder, like I said. It stars, and I'm gonna butcher some names here because I've actually never heard these names, some of these names spoken before. So, but it stars Mia Wasikowska. I have no idea how to pronounce her name. She's the one who played Alice in Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland and the sequel Alice Through the Looking Glass. She was also Jane Eyre in the Jane Eyre movie with Michael Fassbender and Judi Dench, which is a great adaptation of Jane Eyre. I should have mentioned, I don't think I mentioned it when I did my video on Jane Eyre. I don't think I mentioned really hardly any adaptations, really. Well, maybe I did, but I don't think I really mentioned much about that one if I said anything. But anyway, it also has Jessica Chastain, and she played Carolyn Stoddard in the 2004 Dark Shadows pilot that was never aired, but you can watch it online. She also more recently played in It Chapter 2 as Beverly, all grown up. Tom Hiddleston, who played, Loki in the Thor movies and some of the Avenger films, and he also played in Kong Skull Island with Brie Larson. And Charlie Hunnam, I'm guessing how his name is pronounced. He played King Arthur in the Guy Ritchie King Arthur, which didn't do so well, but I thought was an interesting adaptation anyway. An interesting reimagining and retelling of the King Arthur story. But that's neither here nor there with this. So, anyway, the story of Crimson Peak is that it's about a girl named Edith Cushing who, at a young age, loses her mother to black cholera, and shortly after her death, she's visited by the ghost of her mother, who warns her to stay away from Crimson Peak. Several years pass, and Edith has grown into this magnificent young woman. She's very smart, very intelligent. She's not a big one about society. She's more reclusive in some ways, but I mean, she's different, and I think some of the people in the upper class in Buffalo, New York, where she lives, don't like her because she's different, and she's wanting to become a writer. She has a novel she's written about it's a ghost story, but it's more of a story with a ghost in it, and the ghost is a metaphor for the past, which reflects this movie altogether about the ghosts and representing the past and stuff, and even loss themselves. So anyway, she meets this man who's a baronet. His name is Sir Thomas Sharp. He comes to Buffalo to seek financial assistance, essentially. He's trying to get people to invest in his invention so he can reopen his family's mines, because they produce this very striking red clay that they have made bricks out of in the past. But his family's fallen under hard times. It's just he and his sister, and he needs the money. He's failed everywhere he's gone, essentially. And so this is kind of like, like a last chance for him. He starts out courting this girl named Eunice McMichael, who is the sister of Edith's closest friend, Alan, who's recently returned and set up practice as a doctor. And he's always loved her, although she's only ever seen him as a friend. So she meets this man named Sir Thomas Sharp. She falls in love with him, but he has a dark secret. Her father tries to bribe him and his sister to leave because he finds out this man's secret, and so he has to thoroughly break her heart. Soon, her father is murdered, and she thinks she's lost Sir Thomas, but Sir Thomas comes back to her. He never left, he couldn't leave her, and they are soon married, and she is spirited off to England, to Cumberland, England, to Allerdale Hall, the home of the Sharps. and she gets entwined in this huge mystery in this old house that's falling apart and sinking into the ground, much like the House of Usher. So, and her life becomes threatened as she delves further and further into the mysteries of Allerdale Hall and the ghosts that haunt it. So, that's a overview of what the story is about, what the book and the movie are about. So, I mean, the movie is stunning. It's very beautiful. I don't know if it was filmed in Technicolor, but I know Guillermo del Toro had a vision for it to be in, Technicolor, at least style-wise, to give it these very saturated colors, which at times it does have very saturated colors, and it's just gorgeous, and it's almost kind of dreamlike or nightmare-like at times. And I don't know where I was gonna go right after that, but anyway. But it's visually appealing. The performances are fantastic. It's great writing. I'm sure there's holes in it somewhere, but I don't know where the holes are, and I personally, actually, I just enjoy the movie so much I don't care if there's holes or not. Sometimes you don't care if there are holes, and sometimes you do. So the difference between the book and the movie is that the book does feature some scenes that are not in the movie, but I'm guessing were in the original script. You also get to hear their interior dialogues, and you get a little bit of more backstory that you don't get in the film. So, I mean, it was nice. It's a nice accompaniment to the movie, and of course I've seen the movie several times. So, I mean, it was a treat to read. It was great. I love the movie. I love the book. And the book does have this fantastic illustration of Allerdale Hall, which is seen in the movie when Edith's looking up Allerdale Hall in her books on England. And so it's kind of this nice etching. So, the writing was very good, and it does switch perspectives, which I'm very used to in reading, but there was one perspective that kind of threw me off guard and stuff, and it always refers to as it watches the bride, it watches the brother, the sister-in-law as she does this, blah, blah, blah. It kind of threw me off, but it was not in a bad way. It was very interesting. So some people might find it jarring, but I found it fascinating. Overall, I think Nancy Holder did a great job adapting the script to book form, and I think the main differences in some of the scenes do run slightly different in spots, and there's some dialogue not present, but I think toward the ending there is one little scene in there where the dialogue is almost completely different completely different in that it's not even the same words. And I think it makes a little more sense in the film to go in that direction than it did in the book. Because, if they would have used those lines directly in the movie, to me it would have probably sounded maybe like it was like really, really rehearsed or something. It just wouldn't have fit. So I think the dialogue they went with, it summed it up, but it just was better for the film than if they would have used what was, I'm assuming, right in the script. So, anyway, check out Crimson Peak if you have not. If you love this film, let me know. If you have any comments on the film at all, let me know. The book, the novelization, is worth checking out too. I had to order a copy, and this was not originally what I was going to read. It was part of my TBR books to read by Halloween. And originally I wanted to read the novelization of the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula. I've read Dracula, but I wanted to read the novelization of that film. Well, when I went to my local bookstore, it had been sitting there for a long time and someone had bought it, so I was like, ugh. And I'm not a big one for reading novelizations, as I've already said. And then I stumbled upon Crimson Peak, I think, online somewhere, and I thought, so I went looking for it, and I got me a copy. I do have another novelization of a film on my TBR, and that's House of Dark Shadows. So I plan on reading that and doing a video on that and the movie version, the movie too. So, of course, I'm a big Dark Shadows fan, so, you know. So, check out Crimson Peak, check out the book. The novelization is by Nancy Holder, and of course the movie is directed by Guillermo del Toro. So, check those both out. That's really all I have for you tonight, so, you know, everybody keep safe, remain well, and be kind and courteous and understand to one another, and please wear your masks, and please social distance, and, you know, we're all in this together. And remember that Black Lives Matter, and please show your support for the Black community. They seriously need it through this terrible time, and we all kind of need support at this terrible time, but especially them. So, and also, please, please, please go out and pre-order your Kindle version of Local Haunts. I've heard that the paperback is in the works. Some people have actually gotten some advanced reader copies to review, and I guess there's already at least one review on BookTube. I haven't checked it out yet. I need to, so that's on a to-do list with me. And I've gotten behind on a lot of stuff, especially my reading, and so I recently finished, Crimson Peak. And I'm behind on videos, I'm behind on writing, because I've been busy doing stuff, and I recently injured myself, the klutz that I am, and so I haven't been able to really do writing, because my thumb, it's kind of hard for me to hold, to write with a pen. I can hold it, but I can't write very well with it, so I've been really discouraged, so. But, anyway. So, that's all I have for you tonight. So, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.